Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. My channel is about marriage to a woman from the Philippines. I married my wife there in 2015. So as of now, it's been 9 years. Married her in the Philippines on my first trip there. And that was the plan. And we've been here in the United States ever since. But once in a while, the thought comes up of, should we retire in the Philippines? Do I even want to retire in the Philippines? Does my wife even want to retire in the Philippines? There have been times early on when she thought that she might want to, and I think as she got comfortable here in the United States of America, that that's not as big of a concern to her. And there have been times when I was open to that idea. And I want to share some thoughts I have. I think I've got 12 concerns. I'm going to split them up into 2 videos, otherwise it'll take too long. And maybe you can identify with some of my concerns about moving from one country to the Philippines. Please subscribe here to Love Beyond the Sea and leave a comment. Maybe some of you have already made this move, or you are just about to, and be ready to share your concerns. I'll try to be as honest with you as I can here. So let me say the first thing would be second thoughts. I don't want any regrets. I don't want to fly, I don't know what it literally is, but it's like 9,800 flight miles, and settle into our home that we built there, 6-7 years ago. And some of my wife's family would live with us, only to get a feeling of dread that maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't have made that move to the Philippines. So I don't want any second thoughts. I don't want to go there and then wonder, what was I thinking? Now, I have heard that something like 80% of expats that go to the Philippines and live are gone after 3 years because there are some things that they just can't handle. Now, sometimes I think people rush to get out there thinking it's going to be so wonderful. They see people's videos and it's so great. It seems like a dream come true, but they don't get to see everything. I've been there probably 5 times, so I have a much better idea now than I did before. Second thoughts are very important. I just don't want to have that. Most of us are probably reluctant to change, and I'm no different. I would have to give up some things, and we'll talk about more of these later. You'd also have to sell your house, I guess, unless you're going to live in 2 countries. That would take some work. Sell your house, everything in it. I would just say, be mentally prepared. Don't rush into this decision. Ask other people, watch videos, find out if maybe you're making a mistake by trying to go to the Philippines. Just because some people do it doesn't mean you should. So second thoughts is one concern. Another, well, kind of obvious, the heat. It's more of a burden to some than others. Isn't there a saying that says if you can't stand the heat, stay out of the Philippines? Actually, I think that's something else, but it could apply here. We've been in April and May, August, June and July, and then December, January, over Christmas and New Year's. I think the most challenging was March, April, May, when we got married. Would have been April and May. I got there in April and we got married on May 10th. I met her in March. But man, that's the summer. March, April, May, that's the summer, and it was really hot. I was shocked. How hot it was and how much water I drank and how little anybody else there locally drank, because they were just used to the weather. I certainly wasn't. I was very, very shocked by it. Now, our house is pretty close to a beach, so that would be kind of nice to get out there and walk around. We did that once. I would like to do that, but if you're going to be there for the duration, that heat is going to be something to deal with all the time. Now, I thought that, July, August, where it's very hot here in the United States, I thought that was probably the mildest weather that we had when we were over there. When we were there in January, it was even starting to get hot before the summer, but I thought August was not too bad. And one thing about the heat is, over there it gets dark about 5:30 every night, no matter what, and that does cool things down. And if you've got some sweat on you, and you're moving around on a scooter or, some kind of motorcycle or a sidecar, then it does kind of cool you off. But the heat is probably a concern. Another one, third one, would be about this one, transfer of money issues. I know all the ins and outs about how to handle money here. I just did a bunch of, I want to say checkbook work, but it's actually all done online now. I do have a checkbook that I keep the balances in, but the work is done online for just about everything. Automatic payments, your Visa, you can use debit card transactions. I wouldn't know what to do. If I lived in the Philippines, quite frankly, my wife would probably have to handle all the money transactions in the Philippines. You'd also have to think about how much money to take. Are you going to wipe out your 401k, retirement fund, pension, and go out there? Where is it going to be left? There's maybe some tax concerns, Social Security, filling out tax forms, and that could be a little bit of a hassle, but I suppose you get used to it in time. Another concern I have is just making a new beginning. I don't want to go there to the Philippines if we did and just slowly die. And I might be on borrowed time, but I would want to live a meaningful life over there. Being with my wife is always meaningful and fulfilling. And there may be some potential out there for, engaging in new and exciting venues or ventures. But as I said earlier, a lot of the expats they don't. And they end up trying another country, or they go back to the country that they came from. But if we went to the Philippines, I think I would want to be ready to just do it and stay there no matter what. No coming back. Another one I've thought about is what happens if my wife dies. Things happen. You go there. This would be a serious one. The traffic's kind of dangerous and dark often. When you're driving around, people walk across the street in front of you. What happens if something happens to my wife? And that would be devastating. And I have a good relationship with a family. Would I want to stay in the Philippines? Probably not, just because it's so unfamiliar to me. I think I would be very nervous to stay there if my wife wasn't with me. Now, the last thing here I'll mention before making another video soon would be medical care. You've probably thought about this one. If not, you should. And I haven't investigated medical care as far as what kind of quality care they have out there in the Philippines. And I would prefer not to have a major surgery there. I've had maybe 10 surgeries here, from carpal tunnel in both wrists to 4 knee surgeries. I had back surgery, 3 shoulder surgeries. And hopefully I'm done with all that. If I had to have some major surgery, I would probably want to know if I could come back to the United States and get it done there, just because I think it might be better quality. Let me know what you think about that. If the healthcare in the Philippines is just as good as it is in the United States. Now, meds, you got to consider that too, because I do take some. Would you be able to get them in the Philippines? If you're there one time, you can always ask some of the pharmacies, how easy is it to get this and that. But you want to make sure that you can get your meds, pay for them out of pocket probably. So those are six concerns. I'll make another one. If we retire there, what would be on my mind? And go ahead and share comments here. If you have been down this road before on Love Beyond the Sea.